Have you guys seen this show? I think it's called Northwood's Law. And I watched like 2 episodes of this thing. And it's about like the fish and game wardens of like New Hampshire. And it's interesting because I watched 2 episodes and nothing happened. Like it's a literal show where nothing of value happons. And then I go, this had to have been canceled in the first like 3 episodes. It has 16 seasons.
Jesus Christ.
It's so long running. It's insane. So like in one of the episodes, one guy, he tickets a family that's fishing. These with like an 8-year-old. They're fishing in front of their house. And he's like, well, you don't have a fishing license. You know, that is not okay. You know, you can't be out here fishing. We got, we put them in there and you can't like. And this is the entire, like, there's an arc. There's an arc to this. First, he has the binoculars in the woods. It's like, I saw you fishing. I've been here for 3 hours watching you guys fish. You can't say you weren't fishing.
That guy's got nothing to do.
Dude, you get paid for this? Like, come on. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Game wardens. So I've got a ton of experience with game wardens. Game wardens are awful. But, like, people who don't hunt have no idea. Like, why would they? You never run up against one of these guys, but they have like so much power to go onto other people's properties without any sort of justification. There's like, I was investigating, so I went onto his property and while I investigated, like that's trespassing. No, it's investigating. They're just out there like walking around on your land in hunting season, not wearing orange, trying to catch hunters up to no good. And when they catch a hunter, they take his truck, his guns and stuff, like $50,000 to $100,000 for the shit, plus fines and maybe even jail time. It's a scary job, if you ask me. You're telling me you're going to corner a hillbilly in the woods, tell him, come on out of that tree. I'm going to take your truck and your guns away. Yeah, that gun you got there, that big one. Yeah, give it to me. I'm taking it away. Like, it's like he might just gun you down in the fucking woods and go home.
Yeah, I think we'd hear about that if that happens.
The problem is in the show that never happens. So I don't
never
think
catch anybody.
Yeah, they never catch anybody. They spent a good, I think it might have been a 2-episode arc where they're trying to find out who shot at a turkey and missed. They had 3 days of investigation. They had like forensics. They had dogs looking at it because apparently, if you shoot at a turkey and miss, and the bullet goes into somebody's yard, then you're liable for whatever happens. And like somebody filed a complaint, and the person that filed the complaint, he used to be a game warden too.
Oh,
so
these guys
now
are such.
It was nuts. And they had like, there's 2 hunters that were like completely, they followed everything to the letter of the law. Right. And they called them in. They said, oh, you're going to have to come in. You know, you might have been hunting illegally. And they were like, no, we weren't. You know, we'll come in and tell you everything we did. They're super straightforward, forthcoming rather. And they ended up like taking revoking their hunting licenses for like a year because they shot at a turkey and missed. It's such a bullshit show, but I love watching it because it's like.
Have you watched Ice Road Truckers? Have you guys seen this?
Of course.
Oh yeah,
I know of it. I've never watched it.
Is the most boring concept ever. You think Ice Road Truckers and like trucks are going to start sliding into the lakes they're crossing or whatever? No, they're just trucks driving on icy dirt in the winter. The trucks don't even get that cold, I guess. They keep them running all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's really about it. Have you ever had a long drive and it got super boring and you had to deal with that boredom? That is what it's like to do this job and to watch this show.
On a special episode of Cold Trucks.
Episode of Cold Trucks.
And they're just like
coffee.
Yeah. There's like dramatic music explaining that he leaves the truck running when he's not using it so that it stays running.
People watch
Thank God.
Otherwise it gets cold in there.
It's why I don't understand people who watch the bulk of reality TV. It's all like that, with that fake dramatization of like, oh, when we come back, like Big Mike got sucked into the gold siphoning machine. and you come back and Mike's like, my sleeve almost went in there. Did you see that? Like, your sleeve almost went in there?
Dude, I remember like when this show, like Moonshiners, probably late 2000s, like I remember seeing a few episodes of that, like at my dad's house when I was home, from college, and like being befuddled to like, where are they making money with this? Like, it's clearly just money from TLC or whatever, because they'll be like, yeah, we got to be careful. The cops are coming. And it's like, there are 15 camera crews on you right now with a big, you have correct lighting on you in the middle of the woods. Like you're like you look fine. And then I would look at it and they'd like lift up a jug and be like, this is a good batch right here. And I'd be like, that's, if I were to buy that equivalent of vodka at the store, it would set me back $19. Like, where is the margin here, gentlemen? Like, who is buying this shit?
You know
There's no way.
The worst part is the reason bootlegging existed, most people know, is because of prohibition. You couldn't get it. It was illegal. You were making something they didn't sell at the fucking store. So your quality didn't even need to be that good. It's legendary. If somebody had some good tasting moonshine, they're like, oh yeah, old Pappy Cork. Like he can make the best stuff ever. It's legal now though. So all you gotta do if you want to make liquor at your house is go to the ATF's website, find the form, print it out, fill it out, and mail the bitch in. You get a license to make the shit. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Get your alcohol license. You can just make the shit. The whole show is based on the idea that they're doing something that's illegal that's not illegal.
Oh yeah. And I know people who like make their own alcohol, but it's like people who are like, I tried to make a wine and it was fun. Oh, I got a little beer kit and I made it. I don't know anyone in my life who's ever just like, I want to get fucked up on something I made, something that could blind me.
You want to watch a real reality show where somebody's actually coming to get you? Have a black man with a reality show where he sells loose cigarettes on the side of the road.
Oh,
You'd need a lot of like.
I got
a rotating.
He's like, I got 15 Newports. I got 8 Marlboro Lights. I got 4 Cools. Like he's just going through, and the cops would show up and take his ass to jail if they caught him for selling those loose fucking cigarettes.
Yeah, but then what happens in the show?
He goes to jail, and then he gets out. He's like, "They got me again."
Actually, I guess this is no less exciting than these other shows.
This is better than most of these others. This is the world's most deadly job.
Because maybe they show up and like, "Show us your hands," and things go poorly. I think
the best sort of hood show that you could ever make was already made, and it's Bait Car, and I can't. I could not stop watching that. Because it's the excuses that these people made when they got caught. It's like, oh, some guy just told me to park it down the street. He gave me $50. You're like, yeah, this makes sense to you? That makes sense to you?
Or they'd be
humans
like,
interact in this way.
I remember seeing one where the guy's like, oh, this isn't my Tahoe. And they're like, where's your Tahoe parked, sir? And he's like, I don't have a Tahoe.
I'm a level with you here. I don't
actually own a Tahoe. Right here.
Just leaning all your weight behind an excuse where you don't have like a second
I clearly don't know where mine is.
Yeah, I think it was stolen. Someone stole my Tahoe. So this was a corrective steal. Yeah, Bait Car was a great show because you would get funny stuff in it too. Like when they would remote lock the car doors, that was always good. Where they would kind of realize, like, because you get going in a car, you think you're home free. Like you're in a car. Of course you're home free.
The bait car videos where they know it's a bait car. They know they're being filmed and they're performing for the cameras and leaving the door open while they drive it.
Yeah, I just see some. That's so funny. The guy's driving like, yeah, I know it's a bait car. I know it's a bait. Like announcing it because he knows there's microphones and cameras. I'm surprised you haven't seen that one, Freddie. Yeah, he just keeps the door open as he's driving.
I've absolutely seen that. Yeah, it's like, listen, I know this hooker is a cop, but I feel like there's like a 10% chance that this is still going to work out. So I'm going to ask her to do art.
Yeah.
See, that's the best reality TV. The stuff
suck my dick while we listen to Mozart.
Cops was the best.
The symphony.
Didn't they bring back Police Activity or whatever it's called? Not Police Activity. What's it called? It's not Cops. There's like a modern day version of Cops. I know they took it down for a while after.
I don't know. You're the one who watches. Live PD. Is that what you watch?
Live PD. That's what it is. Yeah. We watched a ton of that in jail too. I like Live PD.
It seems stressful to watch in jail.
Yeah, in jail.
Usually they would be like, it was funny because they're like, do you mind if we come take a look in your attic? And he's like, yeah, look. And they were like, no, don't let him look. And then they went up in his attic and they found his shit. and the guy next to me was like, you see, I told you never let him in.
Dude, for all those convicts in there, it's like you're watching a scary movie. You're like, no, don't let him in. Don't agree. Make him get a warrant. No.
We all knew where this was going.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the only. Do you guys watch Gold Rush at all?
No.
I watched part of an episode at my grandparents' house as everyone was falling asleep for Thanksgiving.
So, for starters, I recognize that it's fake. I recognize how fake it is. If anyone out there also watches Gold Rush, it's fake. But the show isn't about finding gold. They pretend it is, but it's not. The show is about the entrepreneurial spirit. These people who are like risking it all to find gold. And it is just flat out like inspiring and exciting to me. And kind of in a Most Dangerous Catch, they put like false deadlines on things, and like a conveyor
early
belt
in the
breaks.
Deadliest Catch, I think the deadlines were real, right?
Earlier they were, agreed. Yeah.
And then there was like a change to the way the season worked, so that everybody the timing didn't matter. Everyone had an allotted amount to catch.
They did
was
that for
shitty.
safety, because it used to be, hey, we're going to make the season this long to control how much you can catch. And people would just work 24 hours and kill themselves in a dangerous way. Now they're like, whoa, all right, this is hurting people. We'll give them whatever all season to catch this allotted amount. But Gold Rush is like, it's fun to watch because they're taking chances. They're going new places. They're seeing what works. They're learning a new business. And like, I really like it. The only trouble is,
Wait,
like,
is this the show where they're panning for gold?
yes.
But not like panning. They've got like all kinds of machinery and stuff.
If you
and
saw
the
the
machinery's
very
always
early
breaking
season.
down.
Yeah, that's kind of where I go wrong. Like, so for example, they have a conveyor belt, right? They put dirt on a conveyor belt. It puts it through this machine. It shakes it out. The basic premise of it is gold is heavier than the other dirt. So by like shaking it all out, the dirt will run away and the gold will stay in these sluice box. It's like carpet. And the conveyor belt breaks. All of a sudden, it's like major drama. The fucking Death Star music comes in. Dun, 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 dun. And the you know, what are we gonna do? And people are like rubbing their heads. It's like, dude, conveyor belts break like 3 times this season. I've personally witnessed like 24 conveyor belt breaches because this is my 20th, you know, like my 5th season watching this thing, and they just bolt it back together. It's really
That's
hard.
what I was about to say. It's just, now it just eats. It's like tracks on a bulldozer. So all right, we'll just snap them back together again.
Sometimes they're torn. Like oftentimes a conveyor belt breaks in this business because a rock got stuck somewhere and the belt kept going by it, and it, it's pretty damaged. But they usually either have a spare belt on or they're able to like bolt it back together and stuff. Anyway, if you take away the manufactured drama, I kind of like watching people, and there's a core of it that's kind of real, like the different approaches to solving the same problem. That's in it. I like the show. I like the show
How
because
much gold are these people finding?
Yeah. So the answer in ounces, it seems like every week
It can't
they
possibly
find like
be a lot,
100
because if I had a
ounces.
like special gold place where I was raking it in, I wouldn't be like, all right, make a fucking TLC show out of it. Like, let everybody know.
I want to say like the better operations bring in something like $3 million a year in gold, but the margins aren't that great. So the bigger operations, it seems like every year they're buying like machinery and like they've really invested a lot.
They're trying to improve those margins by expanding, by improving the volume.
There's some economies of scale there, right? So, you know, bigger trucks, bigger bulldozers, bigger sluice boxes. And it's fun to me because I think the investment decisions that they're making are real. And so some of them are like, you know, maybe last year's sluice box, we can get one more year out of it. Another one's like, bring in Big Red. You know, we're going to have more capacity than we've ever had before. We're fixing this bottleneck. And they're so excited about it, and it like rarely works out. And
you know why? It's because like, what was it? Was it hundreds of years ago that this stopped being an occupation? And people were like, God damn it, well, I got to go work in a factory or get a different job. And these people are like, no, if it takes me signing a cheap-ass, bare minimum TLC contract, panning for gold, pretending like I'm seeing, like, you know, specks in the river, like, I'll do that.
If you took all the gold that's ever been found in the entire world and made it a block, it'd be smaller than, like, a normal-sized house. Like, there's not that much gold on the planet. So, and this is according to the show. What the hell do I know? But
no, you're about right. It's like I saw him do it the other day. A good way was like the Washington Monument. They showed like if it were inside the Washington Monument, how high it would stay. It's not very far. There hasn't been much gold ever found in total on the whole
so
planet.
when they find like a mason jar worth, all of a sudden that's like $60,000. And
it's like 12. I think it's like $1,200 or $1,300 an ounce now.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I really like the show, but what I really like are the like entrepreneurial decisions that they're making, and not so much like the people arguing with each other or fretting about a broken flat tire or something.
Whale ships.
Yeah, you know that TV show where they protect the
shot
whales?
by like a Japanese guy who's not. Have you ever seen those clips of like the Greenpeace people who like are used to dealing with not like other American or European ships or something, and they attack them and throw this stinky stuff.
Oh,
and
no,
every once in a while they accidentally go up against like one of the Japanese ones, and they don't play that shit. They'll like fire water cannons back and like actively fight back. It's hilarious.
That's Whale Wars you're thinking about.
I love
Real what?
Whale Wars.
That's Whale Wars. That's Paul Watson. That's that Paul Watson guy.
Yeah, that happened to that show. Remember when there were like 4 of those shows going on at the same time? The fucking Whale Wars.
It was mostly
whales.
Yeah, and it's got, when you watch the intro to the show, you're like, holy shit, these are some badass motherfuckers. Because like the intro music is like, the world is a vampire. Dun, 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 and there's like a montage of these guys like up on the like prowl of the ship with the white salty air in their hair, and they're just like riding the waves like, yeah, there's the Japs. Like they look so bad. And then you watch the show and they're like, there's this guy with like the weakest mustache you've ever seen. He's like, we're almost there, sir. Prepare the water balloon. You're like, wait, what?
What's
We're not
funny?
gonna shoot him? We don't even have like one of those big harpoons to like impale some. Like, no, we're not gonna ram them. No, they're throwing water balloons and like stink bombs and shit.
Always made me laugh is like their ship, I don't know what the speed is, call it 19 miles an hour. They're chasing down ships that go 18.5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So it's like 6.5 hours where they slowly inch up on them. It's just the most boring car chase ever.
You could tell that like half the guys who were on that boat were just there to fuck the chicks who were there to save the whales. And and then they realized that the kind of chicks who were there to save the whales are not the kind of chicks that they were after. And now they're just stuck on this boat somewhere in the fucking Arctic Sea with Paul Watson and his bitch boy with the mustache. I watched a lot of that show, but I never saw an episode that was
time?
Dude, we watched it. Like everybody I knew was into it. We watched every single episode, and you were always waiting on something to actually happen, and nothing ever did.
Sometimes it did.
The biggest thing that ever happened is Paul Watson pretended to get shot.
No, the biggest thing that ever happened is like come 2-3 seasons in, they got this nimble little fast boat, and this one was like a cigarette boat almost, but it looked like a badass cigarette boat. It had like armor on it. It was like sealed on the top, and they could chase down boats and do nothing, I guess. So.
Hey! Stop!
Yeah.
Whoa! Oh, what did the white man scream at me?
Not even, because they're like indoors, like under a cover, like bang, bang, bang. Hey, knock it off from inside. So they run down to they catch the ship, right? Because they're catching this giant like ocean liner type thing, and they're in a little cigarette boat. They catch it, and the big boat runs them over and slices it in half and sinks them.
What?
Yeah. And shit went down, and they they had some sort of like rescue outfits on, like they were prepared for this, and they got plucked out of the sea, and they lost their expensive cigarette boat.
I bet you a whale clit is probably bigger than you would, because I've seen the picture of the blue whale penis, which is like a boat. But the whale, are you going to Google whale clit? I hope.
I'm way ahead of you, buddy.
Like it's not in our favorites already. I guess I'll maybe try.
The first thing that popped up, this article called "Getting to Know Whale Vaginas in 7 Steps."
7?
Woody, I know you like reality shows, so I found out about this incredible Japanese reality show that existed in the late 90s.
MXC.
I think the guy's name was Nasubi.
Oh,
but here's what they did. They locked him naked in a room with nothing, and they broadcast it live for 15 months. And the only way he could get food or any possessions at all was by the big pile of magazines in the room had all those mail-in sweepstakes. So he had to continuously enter mail-in sweepstakes until he'd accrued like 10,000 United States dollars. But that takes 15 months. So he was just going insane. You know, no haircut. He's got this beard. His hair's a mess. It's like Old Boy, except no like incest or craziness, right? He's going insane in this room. It's got 17 million viewers every Sunday night. It's huge. They edit it down into summaries that are played on weekdays. It's one of the bigger shows in the country, and people find the apartment that he's locked in. So they come in the middle of the night and they kidnap him out of the room. The producers do. He wakes up, whole new apartment, whole new pile of magazines. Let's go again. It was absurd. It's like, how did this actually happen? I didn't believe it had happened the first time. I was like, somebody made some shit up. But I started Googling, and yeah, it happened. It happened.
15 months?
15 months. 15 months.
Do you remember
This
what
is
it's
a long
called?
time ago?
Is it late 90s?
Late 90s. It's in the late 90s, a Japanese game show called The Contestant. It was broadcast a man being locked in a room for 15 months. He was naked, starving, and alone. He was also unaware that his life was being broddcast on national television. The show was extremely popular.
Why did he think he was there?
17 million viewers every Sunday night. He thought it was a contest.
Day 75. I am so scared.
Like, he was a Japanese comedian who had won the lottery for a show business related job, and he was challenged to stay alone, unclothed, in an apartment for the show. Susunu. Susunu. The only possessions he had were those that he'd won from the sweepstakes. You know, he'd mail in and get the stuff from the mail order stuff. Yeah, absolutely insane. The Japanese are on such another level with their game shows. That was probably the same time we were coming up with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? Like, we went the massive, bigger than life capitalist route. They went creepy hidden camera, naked man locked in a room for a year.
This is so much better than ours. This is way better than trivia for $1 million. Would you rather watch this trivia? Yes,
I love trivia.
Yeah, but I'd like to play trivia. I don't want to watch trivia. Like this fair. Is, and I wouldn't want to do this either. But this is at least interesting.
It's terrifying.
And I mean, he was challenged to enter until he won 1 million yen or whatever. That's $8,000.
Yeah, but you've got to get. It's like $8,000 worth of free shit from the sweepstakes until he wins the show, I think was the deal. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, but prorated, that's 15 months of your life.
He said that he didn't quit because of his like Japanese spirit of determination, and also he didn't have any clothes.
And also because of the lock of the door.
How much time have you spent on this show, Taylor? When will you hit that long of time being in this room that you're in right now?
It'd be a long time to equate to 15 24-hour day or 15 months of 24-hour days. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Especially if all you have is like free magazines. It would probably be like you'd be getting like chick tracks from religious groups and all sorts of shit like that. Like, what else are you gonna win? Sushi, seaweed. I don't know what they sell in magazines in 1998 in Japan.
Other Japanese magazines. Who knows? It could be anything. We're a very strange culture, Taylor.
Nukes really set your crazy to 11, for the next 100 years or so. Apparently,
we beat
maybe
shit out of them. You know why? You know why they bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki with the nukes? Why they picked those two? Well, there was a weather-related event, so like I think Tokyo got called up. But the reason that Hiroshima and Nagasaki were still standing is because they saved them. They saved those cities. All the other cities were destroyed already from conventional bombing raids and firebombing raids. They saved those two to test on.
But then they didn't even, not even
the biggest L ever. Huh?
That is a huge L. I was going to say, like, that's a lot to save 2 entire cities. Like, not even, because there was one person who's like, all right, we're going to save that city. And someone was like, no, you don't test things once. Like, you test things.
They had a backup.
Batman.
So that means they had
what are we going to do with Little Boy?
That was a huge L they took. And now they've got like tentacle porn and they're working themselves like 90 hours a week until they die at 32 years old and stuff.
I think they always did that. Well, they work themselves 90 hours a week till they die at 102.
I think they're trying to make up for like that L they took, trying to catch back up. I mean, they did in the 80s. They're still going though. It's wild. What an industrious.
And the worst part, they don't have any diversity. So it's
not a bit.
Or you could say 100% diversity.
And How do they operate?
Yeah,
No
the
diversity?
Japanese.
How do they
They're all
operate without all the
minorities.
food and music?
It's 100% diverse
Diversity.
by the NBA code of diversity. Like, where apparently everywhere but fucking Switzerland is diverse.
Their trains aren't crashing
Really?
into each other, and their airplane companies aren't going down for no reason.
That's true. That's true. They do know infrastructure.
Yeah.
They love taking care of it. They love gardens. I'd like to go to Japan. That'd be fun.
Oh, you should. It's awesome. It's.
I think all three of you guys have been.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah.
allowed to go. They don't
You
allow-
went with. Didn't you go to Japan?
No, he went with Joe and like was ringside with him when Joe mysteriously didn't lose that fight to Anthony Pettis in spectacular fashion.
Yes. Yeah.
Man,
I
this
remember
is-
him winning that fight.
This is like a Mandela
Every time
effect. I would have
gotten
sworn
pumped
you
up for
went
a
to
Joe
Japan.
fight, it's been an unfortunate.
Yeah.
I was telling my girlfriend the other day. I was like, there was this one time where me and Woody drove like 20 fucking hours to support our boy because he was going to fight in an arena in Boston, and they beat the shit out of him, and we felt so bad, and we knew he wouldn't want to see us, so we just went home. I was like, we hadn't seen him in like a year and a half, 2 years before then, and
Dishonorable.
I haven't seen him since.
We're out of here.
We saw him a
Like, what do you
little
want
bit
to
before
fuck
the
him?
fight. Dude, I
and that's
saw
fair.
Joe Lozon fight in Japan. Now in Japan, the crowds are different. They don't cheer and stuff. They watch in absolute silence. No one says a word. It's quieter than church, right?
Damn.
So they're in there fighting. You can hear every blow land, and then out of nowhere, Joe's coach Steve yells, "Keep your hands up, Joe!" Everybody heard it except Joe. And then comes the kick.
Oh.
And I was like, every time I watch the replay, I hear Steve's voice now. You know, hands up. And I wish Joe heard it too.
Was it weird that no one was cheering? Like I wouldn't have guessed that. Don't the
Yeah, no-
Japanese like to drink, or is that Koreans?
I do think they like to drink, but in sports, they're just dead silent. Hear a pin drop.
You know who's got
Yeah.
the best crowd in the fucking world? France.
Okay.
Dude, the last UFC event this last weekend, when they go to France, you bring out all the French fighters. There's a handful. That crowd was amazing. They were so good. I love those European crowds in general. They've got those chants that they bring over from soccer. And
I love it too.
South American, fucking shit people. You Brazilian pieces of shit.
They have
Worst
chants.
crowd.
No
Worst crowd.
chance?
They'll like abandon the building when their guy is retiring. Who was it? Glover Teixeira is like retiring, fucking old champion. He's had like all these shots at the belt. I think he held it for a minute. He's up there crying, all beaten and bloody. This is it for me. And they're a fucking empty arena. They've left him. Like shittiest fans ever.
That is pretty
Okay.
shitty. He's retired.
And they tried to kill Chael Sonnen,
They
Help
chant,
son.
"You're gonna die" to the Brazilian opponent, and I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
And
like,
you're in
what's
Brazil,
that
so
beautiful
it's
chant? Because it's like, Kulula, Kulula. They're saying, you will die here tonight. You will die here
Yeah,
tonight.
I'm here for it. I like if I'm the opposing guy, I dance like they're kula. I do a little kulala dance. Bring it.
Yeah.
Don't let it get.
It's
to
like
you.
the Philly of countries.
Yes.
Like
Brazil?
Maybe that's why I
yeah,
like it.
Brazil,
Yeah.
where they're just
Yeah.
like horrible fans, mean to you. I guess
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to deal with that.
They have a
you're
shitload of
avoiding-
murders there too, don't they?
Oh,
It's
it's
like
like
Brazil.
crime-ridden. Just
Like I
just
feel like
hellhole.
Brazil,
That's where they've got those
Honduras.
favelas, those
Yeah.
multi-level slums full
Oh,
of
yeah.
AK-47 wielding drug lords.
Great MW2 match.
Wow.
One of the best ones.
Great beaches.
I remember early on, 30 years ago or whatever, they thought Survivor was about surviving. And it turned out the winner was the sneakiest rat on the island. And it's like, whoa, I guess that's what Survivor is actually like. If, like I was saying before, that like you want to survive in an apocalypse, you don't need a gun. You don't need food. You need therapy so you can make better friends so that you can lead this crowd. Or not lead. I don't know where you want to be. Maybe tallest flower gets plucked, like I just said. I watch Survivor, and normally when I watch these shows, I'm like, these people suck. Often because I know more than they do. I'm like, they're making stupid decisions. I would be so much better at this game. I watch Survivor. They're better than me. They're all better than me. And I'm like, I'm so impressed with like the way that guy manipulated that girl, that guy, and that girl to get them in his alliance and convince them that it was their best interest to leave the biggest, strongest alliance. you're like, all right, you're an alliance of 6 and I'm in a group of 3 and I'm kind of fucked, right? They're going to pick us off one by one. But dude, you're number 6 on that 6. You don't want to be that. You could be number 1 on my 3. We just get a couple more guys over here. It is devious and interesting, and I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time. And the production value is next level. I watch so much YouTube. I go over to Survivor, and I'm like, "Holy shit! They got time lapse of the storm. It's great." It
Is
you gotta
Jeff
watch
Probst
it.
still hosting that thing?
Yes, and somehow he hasn't aged.
Dude, it's 46 seasons of that show.
46. Oh my! I'm watching
That's
33.
insane.
Yeah,
Wow. I remember like the first 2 seasons, and I kind of gave it up after that.
it's amazing, man. It is a really, really. There was a reason it's gotten 46 seasons deep, and now the people are such experts in the game that is Survivor. They like people come on. They're like, I'm a Survivor nerd. I'm a Survivor super fan. It is on my bucket list to be involved in a blind side, to get an immunity idol, to do this, that, the other thing. You know, like it. And
Is it $1 million prize to win it? I can't remember.
I think there's also some money for like second and third, like some of the other.
That inflation has not been kind to Survivor. The fact that they can still get all those people out on a desert island somewhere for only $1 million for like how long? I wonder how long they film.
The one I'm watching is Gen X versus Millennials. But unlike other Gen X people, I don't hate millennials. Like, dude, all these Gen Xers on the show are like, these guys suck. They don't know how to work hard. They don't know how to put their time in, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like
the producers told me to say it, Woody. That's how to say it.
Maybe that's true. Maybe I'm a fool. But I'm like, oh, no. The millennials have their own talents. They tend to work together much better than the Gen Xers do.
Yeah, because in real life, like, no one even thinks in those concepts, right? So you need a producer to come in and be like, oh, you guys are Gen Xers. I bet at least 3 of them were like, what's that mean exactly again?
Yeah.
And like, well, these are millennials. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you what millennials are. Well, you mean the group of people there? Shouldn't we get to know them? No. You hate them. You see?
Well, it's definitely true that they're kind of like the 40 and 50-year-olds versus the 20-year-olds. And you know, so sense. You can forget the gen whatevers and just see like, oh, all right, these 20-year-olds have had the internet since the very beginning, and I think that's created a bit of like social literacy that's different than the 40-year-olds have. And I don't know, I like watching it play out. There's 2 people that got it. They call it a showmance. A boy and a girl fell in love. So immediately everyone is like, that's a power couple. Priority number 1. Vote someone off the island, and they're like in love, like, fuck, is this a mistake? So dude, it is fun to watch.
We're adults. I'll see you in 3 weeks after the show.
No, it's over.
I'm actually not sure that whatever magic that caused them to fall in love exists off the island.
But it ain't real. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Suck my dick in San Diego or not at all, bitch. I'm playing the game.
Like he's probably like an alpha on the island, and then when they get off the island, she'll go and meet him, and he's like, you know, doing the dishes at the local Denny's, and you know what I mean?
Right. Like what was I gonna say? And then the other thing, like there's this showmance, right? There's this couple on the show, Taylor and Figgy. They love each other, but I'm like, I am 80% sure this dude is head over heels in love with this chick, and this chick is playing the game. You know, she's like, I've got a puppy dog. I get 2 votes all the time. Fuck with me. Go ahead. I have 2 votes because fucking Tails over here does anything I ask him to. His name is Taylor.
Yeah.
And
he's just trying to get some island pussy. And
I think he is. Yeah, dude.
So she's a bit of a vote whore.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
She's cute.
I like playing the game.
Yeah. And I think at the beginning, well, she said she's really good at manipulating men, but I don't know what the producers tell her to say or what's going on. And you can tell she is.
That's a hilarious thing to brag about. It's like if I pretend that I'm gonna fuck men, they do things I want them to, and it's like, you've really cracked the code,
dude. Survivor.
Guess what, lady? So if I pretend I'm gonna marry you, I can get you to do what I want you to do.
On Kyle. If you give it a shot, you have to give it like 3 episodes or so, because that's when it gets a little good. Like the first episode, they don't know each other. The alliances aren't so bad. But then, 3 episodes in, I'll make it up, 13 days in. And with that, like some real bonds have formed that get broken out of deceit and self-interest. And that's what the show is about.
I'm too cynical to watch that show or any reality show for that matter. Like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, no, you're not. No, you didn't. Okay, sure they did. Like I just know that it's manipulated the whole time, and then I don't believe any of it's real. I don't believe any of it's real.
All reality TV's.
I don't believe like any of those relationships that are happening or any interactions that are occurring. I don't believe any of it's real. Like I just don't. If you go all the way back to something like Fear Factor, you could tell that was real because it'd go off the rails every now and then.
Well, it was real because it was like, today we're eating roaches, and it's like that guy's eating roaches.
Well, no, you had that one like fight with Rogan where like the crazy bitch hit another contestant, and Rogan was like, "Whoa, you can't hit people," and then the girl's boyfriend sticks up for her, and he's like, "She can't hit people," and Joe's like, puts him in a fucking headlock. They like that was off the rails. That's clearly a real thing that's happening. You can't pay Joe Rogan to like make up a silly fight thing. But on the other hand, like, I don't know. Survivor.
Oh, there's definitely real shit in Survivor. There's a chick whose eye is swollen and red, and she has a bacterial infection. There's a guy, I thought he was having a heart attack, but it was just dehydration. There have been people who fell in the fire and got seriously injured.
I saw that season.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Or maybe multiple people have fallen in fires, but this guy in particular, he was like a great hunter, and he had killed a boar. He had went out and killed a fucking pig with a fucking spear. And to me, I was like, this is the champion of the tribe. This guy, I got behind him full.
You should have his choice of the females.
The next
that guy comes out there with his clipboard and he's like, Greg, you killed a pig today. Pick any of the women.
That's how
we're getting real in season 43, people.
He could also make fires, and that's how he got hurt. He was making the fire, and he was doing that thing where you blow on the embers or whatever and try to get it whooshing up. Well, I guess he like mistimed his breath, so he inhaled a big breath of like hot, smoky air and went immediately unconscious, face first into the fucking fire, hands first, really. And like he woke up from burning, maybe 5 seconds later, maybe 7.
A long time to burn.
Long enough that his all the skin on his hands were draped off like curtain material. And he's running, screaming into the water, and he's in the water, and he's and they're like, Richard will not be continuing on with the competition. He had to be taken.
I can say 100%. Sometimes you see stuff in a show, especially a reality show, where it's like, yeah, I could also step on a piece of glass and cut myself on accident. That is a mistake I would never make. I would never, ever be blowing into a fire and accidentally inhale so much that I passed out. I would be the guy. My play would be like, they'd be like, Taylor's a fucking bum. He hasn't done anything the whole time. And I'm like, yeah, you think anyone's going to vote for me in the finale? Certainly not you dumb fat ass. Like, just like do stuff like that, and people will be like, "Man, we got to keep Taylor around. Everybody hates him. No one is going to do it."
Challenges in Survivor are all right. So there's a challenge. They have to swim out maybe like 200 feet, get a life ring. That's that inflatable round thing on the side of a boat, and swim it back and touch their pole and the ring at the same time. Okay, cool. So there's 2 guys on each team, and the 2 Gen X or millennials who I thought were going to win, they look like surfers. They've got low body fat. They're fit. They're like surfer guys. And then the Gen Xers, there's one big strong guy, and then there's one like total piece of shit, worthless garbage who's, a fucking buoy. He's not going to, all right, whatever. So I'm like, all right, obvious winners. I'll take the 2 fucking fit dudes. Well, the one big dude, unbeknownst to me, is a national champion football player from the Oklahoma Sooners. And he just grabs both fucking surfers and bear hugs them and doesn't let them play. And then unimpeded, piece of shit goes to get the buoys and wins the game. And and the surfers are like emasculated. They fight for a minute or so, and then they're like, what the fuck am I gonna do? This guy's beating us both up at once.
That's really embarrassing.
They can't hit him? I don't understand.
He was, a big part of it was it existed in the water, and he was taller, so they barely have any grip on the ground. While he has like good.
What are the rules of this combat?
The winner is the person who gets the ring and brings it back.
No, but like eye pokes, groin grabs, scratching.
Legal.
Okay, well,
my God, the scratching.
Then I will say this: I say there's not a man in the world who can restrain me and Kyle at the same time.
Bring it.
Because
Bring it.
I am going. He's going to be blind and nutless. I'm going eyes. Kyle's
Yo,
going nuts. We're
I'm
gonna
going low. I've got his balls in my mouth. I'm chewing on his balls. Like
I'm doing this, and unless he hits me with this, I'm taking his eyes.
Strong. If I grab the 17-year-old version of you both against this collegiate national champion in football for Oklahoma, I don't know. See, Taylor Strong is not a good argument, but to grab the skinny version of Kyle from when he was 17, two of him, he couldn't do anything.
I mean, but if you're allowed to be dirty,
we'd be punching that guy in the face.
But just keep in mind, as soon as you poke his eyes, he's going to take your eyeballs home with him. He's the alpha.
No, he's only got 2 arms. He can't take both of us.
He only needs one finger.
I don't know. I've seen guys take on 2 guys before. You never know, bro.
Nah, dude. No, I'm an internet competent guy.
Yeah. And then afterwards, after this competition's over, there were actually a bunch of rounds I haven't described. Guys have massive scratches all over their rib cage and shit. It was real. They were fighting.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You remember pool fights as a kid? You'd go swim and everybody pool basketball. Pool basketball as a kid. I can't count the number of times that I felt like I was right about to drown, and I'm sure that I did that to other people too. Where you hold them underwater because you're trying to make the basket, and there is a moment where you come up and it's not a normal gasp for air. It's almost
panic.
Your body is freaked the fuck out, and then you deal with that for 30 seconds, and then you go, all right, we're down by 4. We gotta do what he did to us.
Water is a
not
great
the season
equalizer.
I'm talking about, but there was this one guy who was super annoying. He was a good talker, and he wasn't a particularly good athlete, and everybody knew he was going to get voted off that night. It wasn't in question. He knew it too, which isn't always common. Usually you go for the blind side. And I think the challenge was to stand on an uncomfortable pole. And this guy, who had never done really well in any of these physical challenges, just was his life depended on it. So he stood on that pole and he annoyed the fuck out of everybody else with his terrible stories and insults. Fucking Jeff Probst couldn't take it anymore. He's like, stop! He's like, there's no rules that say I have to stop talking. I'm distracting myself. I'm not paying attention to my pain, and I'm going to talk the whole time. You're looking old, Jeff. Just saying. I thought you'd want to know that.
Okay, this guy rules. I hope he won.
He was great. He was great. This show is so much better than I'm describing to watch.
Dude pulls out a copy.
My grandma watches every season of Survivor. She loves it.
Cool
my grandma's cool as shit. She loves it. My grandma also loved. I think I mentioned this on the show. I was trying to fix her Netflix a few years ago, and she's like, yeah, it's not working on this TV, but I've been liking that show Downton Abbey. And I was like,
Downton Abbey, yeah.
And I was like, Downton Abbey? And she's like, it isn't Downtown Abbey? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, I've been watching for 2 seasons, and I thought it was Downtown Abbey the whole time. I laughed at that.
Oh, I want to talk about that show on Netflix. I've been watching this show. I started watching it last night. I almost finished it. I was up till 5 in the fucking morning because I wanted one more episode. There's only 8. I only started watching it because Jason Bateman is the executive producer of this show, which I was like, why is he executive producing a survival show where they throw 16 people into Alaska and they all meet up and there's a paper there. The helicopter keeps dropping. There's no
Did you
host,
say what it was called?
Outlast. And it's 2023. It's brand new on Netflix, and there's no host, which I hate. You need that Jeff Probst guy there to anchor everything down. All they have is a helicopter that drops messages, and very clearly a film crew who we don't talk about. It's fucking stupid.
It's Bear Grylls style.
So the contestants all converge on this point on the message, and the lady reads it aloud. And it basically says, break off into 4 teams. You'll each be on a separate quadrant of this island river delta thing by the ocean. And before she can say any more, teams have formed. The quicker of them have been they grabbed 2 people and looked for a 4th, and then was like, come on, let's get that guy. And so there are these leftover teams. The one guy is like, I didn't really understand what was happening until it was already done. And so this is my team, Team Delta. And it was like, oh,
and it's
no.
him and two guys with cerebral palsy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of women, and there are some smaller women and some older gals, and then there's this one chick. I thought she had meth face. She quickly cleared that up, let us know it was heroin. She's like, I'm a recovered heroin addict. I'm a felon, and I'm here to win.
That was
And
rude
I
of you to make
believe
assumptions, Kyle.
Yeah, I know. I thought so little of her when she rose so high.
But then you realize she was pretty cool.
So what this feels
Article.
like to me is they had an idea for a reality show, but the contestants broke the game. And so they're like, yeah, just make it 8 episodes and fucking record whatever happens. I don't know who wins. I haven't watched either the last episode or the second to last episode, but here's what happens very quickly. People start starving and quitting right away. Starving and freezing and quitting because there's nothing.
How
They're
fast is
eating
right away?
Well, to the viewer, it's the first episode, like 10 minutes. To them, time moves fast for them. Like all of a sudden, 3 or 5 days will pass, and you're like, oh, okay, move the fucking story along. And that's my cue that nothing happened for a week. You know, they all laid there for a goddamn week, and then something happened. So one of the teams decides that they're going to turn rogue. There are 2 teams on each side of the river. The tides are such that they have access to to each other occasionally, like, every 6 hours. When it gets to the low tide, you can kind of wade across. One team has a raft, though, a good one. Well, they send their boy in SEAL Team 6 style to the weakest team because they've only got 2 people left. It's like a guy and a girl who are just barely making it. He makes himself a ghillie suit, rafts across. His team is all girls, and they're there like these bitches are like, yeah, get him. He sneaks over there when they're out of their camp and steals everything. He takes all of their sleeping bags. It drops down to the 20s at night, and it's a rainforest technically. He takes their sleeping bags, and he gets back with them. They destroy his raft, but they don't wait him out for some reason. They find his raft on their side. He has to swim across, towing the raft behind him. It's a decent sized raft that he made with all their shit on it, and he does it. And he's like a fit guy, and he gets the other side, and he's like showing him his asshole and telling him to kiss his ass and this and that. And like those 2 people.
Wait, is he showing his teammates his asshole? I'm a little confused.
He's flashing his asshole to the people he just fucked across the river. He's got all their shit. And it's awful. And that makes one guy quit right away. He's like, I don't want to be in a game like this. He's on a completely different team, and he's like, I don't even want to be in a game like this.
He wasn't even the robbed one.
Look at the 2 people who had that night, they just shivered. They're just shivered all night. They were heating stones up and placing them in their little hovel, wrapping themselves up in tarp and hay and shit. It was miserable.
I probably would have quit too.
Meth face girl, that one team gets down to 1 guy because, again, his teammate had too many morals to continue in a contest like this. So he leaves his poor teammate alone, solo. Dude, Meth face and her gal pal come over and start robbing him to his face, just stealing his shit.
He's a natural.
One of them, Meth face, is stealing his shit that's on the beach because he was going to cross over and join a different team. The other one is at his camp with their arms crossed. You can either save your raft or save your camp. I'll stay here all night. And he's like, what have I got? You people are evil. You people are evil.
This is a dude getting robbed by girls, right?
He can't beat them up.
Wait, he can absolutely beat
He
them.
totally
He
could.
won't win the show. He'll go to jail.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could take a knee to the nose. Is that your idea here?
He was
No,
like, this is
Dumbledore is not going to walk out and be like, for assaulting your female opponents, we award you a barrel of rice.
I'd be tempted to steal her clothes on the spot. Like, oh,
They
you think
robbed
you're
him?
the thief?
It got worse. The one that was by his raft cut it apart down to bits and bobs, destroyed it to his face, and then tried to steal. She's like, this is mine. Like, trying to take it from him. He's like, it's mine. It's clearly mine. And she finally gives up, and she goes, you'll be gone soon, you weak motherfucker. And she walks away. And I think he might have cried, but they didn't show it. It's sad. Dude, I don't know what happens after that, because that's when I had to go to bed. But
Dude,
I
there's
really
no way to
hope they get their
respond to
comeuppance.
that on a
It's
TV
awful.
show. Like, if someone if a small woman is like breaking your shit on a TV show and you can see, you know, Stevie and Edward, the camera and the boom operator there, it's like you don't have an option. What do
He says you'll be gone.
You have
soon,
to like sprint to their camp and break their shit also. Like that's your only option is to be like, okay, mutually assured destruction. I got to go destroy your shit.
I'll tell you what I would have done.
I have my own idea. I want to hear Kyle's first.
I would have made fire and made a torch, and we'd have went and burned their camp to the ground. Like every bit of their shit would have been burned to the ground, and that would have been it. It was like I'm not gonna steal your shit because then you might get it back. I'm gonna destroy everything you have, and jump in there. It's on fire. Get it. You know, I would have burned all the shit. That's the first thing I would have done. All their medical supplies, their food. I don't care. Their personal belongings out, their family pictures, all of it. Burn their
Unless
shit down.
this woman was unusually tough, my idea: throw her in the water. Throw in the water. She needs to be fucking freezing cold right now. Does it get out at 20 at night in this rainforest? Yeah. Well, you better do something about that because you're soaking wet now.
It pissed me off, and I that's why I kept watching. But it doesn't feel like it's heading in that direction. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to finish it after the show tonight. But Outlast kind of caught my attention last night. It's not, you know, it's reality TV and quasi-reality.
I have a question about it, though.
Yeah.
Do teams win or do people win?
People win. $1 million. I should have said that first thing. It's $1 million.
So those girls, the heroin addict and the criminal, are going to turn on each other in the next 2 episodes.
Now, I was smoking out of my my bong that we got sent, some very powerful concentrate. So maybe teams can win, but that doesn't make sense to me. It really seemed to me like it had to come down to one. Although there's a lot of that Survivor style. Like some of these people have 3 different allies. They're like, yeah, I'm with you no matter what. Bullshit. And they're like they have secret meetings with other team members in the woods and shit. Meanwhile, camera crew's there. So I don't know how any of that shit's actually happening, but it caught my attention. I liked it. It's the first reality show in a long time that I haven't thought was vomit inducing. And
I really want you to try Survivor. Because, first of all, I think you'd be good at Survivor, better than I am. I watch Survivor, though, and I know it's an old show and it's 20. I think they're in season 40 now. But it's something really high like that. But I watched that show and I'm like, my gosh, everyone on this show is better than I even think I could be. Like, they're just clever, and the way that they form relationships, and they're steeped in survival knowledge. So when they hunt down you can get an immunity idol, and it's just, they'll tell you like, hey, there's an immunity idol hidden in the woods somewhere. They've seen 100 found immunity idols before. So they kind of like know where to look. They're not randomly searching around. They're like, you know what? If there's a knothole in a tree, if there's a pile of leaves, these are the kinds of places you might find it. They're good at it. And how you use your energy, whether you want to be good, right? The tallest blades of grass get cut down and the shortest ones get plucked. And you kind of want to be just in the middle there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If I was going to try to play that game, what character do you present? You know, what version of you do you show? You know, you don't want to be alpha male man who's like, don't worry, everybody, I'll kill us a pig and keep us alive. You're going to piss like 30% of them hate you immediately. And 30% of them want to compete with you now. And the rest of them are like, yeah, I kind of like that guy, but not really. That's terrible. Like, you don't want to be too weak. You don't want to be like creepy. Because there's 50% women. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces to playing that game, I guess. But I have a real eye and maybe ear for when there's bullshit shenanigans going on a reality show. I was watching it last night, the show we're talking about, and I'm like, I look at my girlfriend and I go, they stocked that pond with fish and taught them to fish for several hours. That's why every one of them keeps hooking a 20-pound fish. And what do they say? Fish on. Almost like a professional fisherman had been there all day saying fish on every time he fucking caught one.
No, Kyle, they organically started saying that. And you know how ponds are. You go to ponds. They all have a similar amount of giant, exact sized fish.
Salmon.
Yeah. Wait, was it like a little pond that had like 20-pound catfish that had just been thrown in?
It was like Soho tuna or something like that. I'm not an expert, but the camera never shows you a wide shot. So it looks to me like they just stocked a little pond so that they could get a fishing, because they were not catching anything from the river delta that they're by. It's like a tidal estuary, maybe. They're right there by the ocean. And so the medical boat is out to sea. And whenever somebody fucking croaks, they come and get them with a helicopter and take them out.
In that other one, Alone, oh my God. The way that they give contestants food annoys the crap out of it. Like, they'll build a fish trap. If you don't know a fish trap, picture like half an hourglass with spikes. It's easy to swim in, but it's hard to find your way out. I described it wrong. But anyway, they're finding dead fish in their fish trap. Get the fuck out of here. Someone put a fish in there for you.
Yeah.
That is absolutely
frozen.
They find like fresh fish on the riverbank right in front of where they go for a walk. It's really planted food. And I Googled it, and they'd be like, apparently I'm not the only fan that came up with this theory.